As Sam is swatting a fly or something. I'm not sure what was flying around here just now.
It was half swatting a fly, half everybody was kung fu fighting, I guess.
Oh, okay. It's one of those transitions since you're trying to look cool type thing. Like, I've done it before. Yeah.
And then I keep forgetting that we're recording video so people can freaking see me.
Like, yeah, everybody's going to be able to see that. It's okay. They get a little treat, you know? Everybody knows kung fu fighting.
There was that one time I was like digging in my nose. It was like wild. Yo, 27 years. It's been 27 years since OG X-Men animated series came out. Like,
has it really been that long?
Yeah, I feel old as crap. I know. Yeah, it has been apparently.
You stop with the old as crap nonsense.
Yeah, well, no, 27 years is a large chunk of change if you haven't got. Wait, no. That doesn't sound right. It said 27 years, but 27 years, yeah.
That is a long time, and you know,
Dude.
I mean, we're probably still going to be able to relive all that with the whole Disney Plus awesomeness soon.
I can literally go into a room of like geeks and be like, "Go previously on X-Men," and everyone understands where that's from.
Everyone gets it.
Everyone gets that reference.
You could play the theme song from anywhere, and people would just like, "What?
What?"
That's definitely X-Men.
That's a ringtone that everyone recognizes.
Exactly. And you know, rummaging through this week's news, and you know, trying to find things to talk about. You find some of the weirdest things, don't you? Like, you see the new X-Men logo, right?
Yeah, it's Wolverine's. So Wolverine's logo. You mean to say it's for his standalone comic?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, who was? Okay,
like he's standing on 4 legs.
Well, no,
instead of 2.
Okay, you're just okay. So Tom Muller, apparently, I guess, is writing or designer. Okay, designing the comics and stuff. So he released a tweet yesterday, the 30th, because it's 31st. Happy Halloween, everybody! Happy Halloween!
Halloween!
Yeah. Well, basically, he dropped the symbols. There's nothing to see here, and it's just a W. I know, but it's written in that new Krakoan language style, so it's shaped in a strange way. And Bleeding Cool, the website of solid journalism, decided that this was possibly a reference to this running theory that Wolverine has 2 dicks. So that piqued my interest because it's Wolverine with 2 dicks.
Well, number one, is this really a thing that people have been trying to figure out?
Because this
is new to me.
Okay, so apparently in 2013, Jason Aaron declared that Wolverine has 2 dicks during a meeting, like I think an interview. He was like, he has 2 dicks, one for fucking and one for lovemaking, for making love, right? And like this, he was like, it was canon, but like his series got killed off before it really got something to come from it, and then he died, and then Wolverine, the character, was dead for a bit. He got revived very recently, like in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So like there was nothing to really come of it, but like apparently there's been multiple references about Wolverine and having 2 dicks in the last couple of years, since 2013. So
there's some meat to this truth.
Shut up.
Right.
So this logo is just another one of those things where it's just like Wolverine has 2 dicks, and like I wouldn't like put it past, because they're weird like that. Put it past like that's a second mutation. Where he grows a second dick.
Honestly, like I'm thinking of so many different things, like the whole circumcision and regrowing and like all that nonsense. Although what's funny is the rumor that I had heard for the longest time, it was Nightcrawler, not Wolverine. I had heard something about Nightcrawler
having 2 dicks.
Yeah, as part of his mutation. But this seems more plausible, to be honest with you. And like, hear me out. Like, this is jumping off of your conclusion point from the last episode, right? With the whole polygamy thing, right? Well, what if Cyclops gets tired one day, or he gets you got a little situation down there and it's just not working out. Wolverine can cover both situations there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you assuming? I'm assuming, based off of this, that Jean Grey is getting DP'd, and that like you would want Wolverine to cover both ends if Cyclops needs to tap out. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what you're saying.
Look, you said it. That sounds like what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right. Okay. That's a great part as any to start the show, right? I mean, yes. Jean Grey getting DP'd. All right, let's do it.
Welcome to another episode of Sam and Ed's totally original Geek News podcast, where we talk about the latest geek culture news throughout the week, whether it's, film, games, comics, what have you. As long as it has to do with geek culture, we're talking about it. How are you today, my friend?
I am good. Happy Halloween again.
Happy Halloween. We had a pretty interesting week with news. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things. We had multiple trailers like The Mandalorian. We had The Witcher, the Netflix series that's coming out in December. We had some news with new superhero shows coming out on CW. They're still going. They're still going. Even after this crisis event.
Yeah.
We have Death Stranding had a launch trailer. It was like 8 minutes long, and Jesus Christ, like, we have no idea what the hell's going on with this game still.
I know 3 things. 1, it's a video game.
Yep.
2, it's very, very pretty. 3, it is also a video game.
That's all we know.
That's all we know.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we know. Go out and buy it. That's all we got for you.
And watch.
Exactly. We'll talk about it a little bit. And we have a couple of things here and there, little tidbits. We're going to find out if they're worthy. And we are going to discuss a pseudo-serious topic, when fan sway when it comes to entertainment. Is it good or bad? So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. So, starting with this week's news. I've got to do the news!
Oh, was I supposed to take it? Okay. First things up, the Mandalorian trailer. So we got a new Mandalorian trailer where they put down a lot more footage. How long was this trailer?
This trailer looks like it was about 2 to 3 minutes long, I think.
Yeah, it was about 2 minutes. 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was watching the trailer, and I gotta tell you, I've never been excited for a Star Wars thing like this in some time. I saw the Clone Wars. I've seen like the other television shows. I've like dabbled on them. This is the first time I've seen a TV show with Star Wars related content that I'm actually like, okay, so like maybe we could do this now. Like,
right.
Like the fighting looks sharp. Like there's a scene in the beginning where he's like fighting on like a couple of attackers, and it's like maybe only like 5 seconds, but it looked like well done, and like he just like blocked his armors and stuff.
Well, let's break it down a little bit here, because what you say is true. Like it was pretty action packed. It starts off with a graveyard of stormtrooper helmets. Some are on the ground. There are some on spikes, so it looks like there's a heavily guarded area and trying to ward off people. And then like 20 seconds in, you actually get to see the Mandalorian himself, and it's like his armor looks sick. By the way,
yes,
it looks really awesome.
Yes.
Super shiny in some spots. Very cool looking. And then right after that, he gets jumped. I think that's what you're talking about, where he gets jumped, and you actually get to see his fighting prowess in action. And like we were talking about before, very Batman-esque. Like he's got like this grappling hook type thing that comes out of his gauntlet, where he reels in bounties and stuff like that. And like he's really good with this. He was using like a staff or something and like a sword at one point
that he took from someone that like literally in mid combat, so he was like pow pow.
Exactly. And then 30 seconds after that, you see one of the enemies that he got jumped. One of the enemies he was fighting was frozen in carbonite. Shout out to Han.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool to see too.
I guess it's the best way to transport people, freezing them in carbonite.
Exactly. I mean, he's a bounty hunter after all. Gotta, dead or alive, right? Mostly alive. And then you get the Lucasfilm title shot, and then some really cool set pieces. They definitely spent a crap load of money on the set pieces and the different costumes and alien races. 55 seconds, he runs into some stormtroopers and ends up in an epic gunfight. That was crazy.
Yes, because it's such a badass move. He just walks in and he walks out of the thing. He shoots somebody right next to him, blocks another shot with his armor, and it just starts gunslinging in. It's just so very established that this guy is boss. Very established.
Yeah, right from the get-go, they do establish that, and then right then and there, there's some epic music hits. So I don't know who's behind the soundtrack, but it sounded really awesome too. And you see him showcase more of his skills, like that grappling hook I was talking about. You see him use it again and try to rope in and corral a giant beast, right? There was this giant woolly mammoth looking thing that he kind of lassoed, and it was dragging him around. And then you see him racing on a speeder, some shots of some spaceships. And then we get to actually see the other actors that are going to be in it. Some well-known ones, Carl Weathers, right? Mm-hmm. Gina Carano. Mm-hmm. You see a shot of Giancarlo Esposito, who's been in everything. That dude has been in everything. You see a shot of a ridiculous-looking battle droid.
Who is shooting everything.
Yeah. Did he have multiple arms? I couldn't.
No, he didn't have multiple arms. He was literally
Grievous?
No, it was mostly just his arms bent in every direction he wanted them to. Oh, okay. If the person needs shooting, he could bend in that direction, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then you see a shot of a love interest who's about to remove his helmet, but you don't really get to see his face at all throughout this trailer. I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're not showing Pedro Pascal's face. But you do get to hear his voice at the end of the trailer, and then you get the title shot of The Mandalorian at the very end. What do you think, man?
I think that if Star Wars decides not to do any more movies and does 2 or 3 television shows like this,
oh yeah,
they can go for another 10 years just off of that.
Oh yeah, and put the money that you put in this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It just looks incredible.
It looks beautiful. And we could wait for content. If you need to put out a new season every year and a half, fuck it. If it's gonna look good, then let it look good. Man, I'll wait for talent. This looks amazing. This looks like a legitimate movie. We're finally getting a Boba Fett movie, but not,
Right. And that's the thing. I guess we're gonna hear more about timeline, right? When it's taken place. There were rumors about how this spoils a lot for Star Wars. I'm not sure which trilogy that they're talking about.
I think this might be after what the Rise of Skywalker actually, timeline wise.
That would make a lot of sense if it did. I mean, if that's the case, what reference does Boba make in this particular series?
This isn't, well, obviously this is not Boba Fett because that Boba Fett's dead.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Canonically in the movies, he's dead. In the books, he escaped that and he went on to have more and more shit go on. But no, this is just another one of his clan members, I guess. If I was really on my geek shit, I would definitely go back and check the helmets to see the design, to tell whether or not they're the old Stormtrooper design or the new Stormtrooper design. Because based on that answer, you could define it. But I don't feel like I should detective this that hard. I feel like someone's going to give us the information literally in 2 weeks. So
that's a really good call on that. So maybe one of our eagle-eyed, listeners will go in and take a look and maybe message us. Leave us a response on Facebook, guys.
Yeah, but we can wait literally 12 days because it's coming out in 12 days.
Yeah, there you go.
So
in 12 days, it's coming out.
Yay! If you got Google Plus, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. So yeah, that was the Mandalorian trailer. It looked phenomenal, and we absolutely cannot wait for it. Next, we have another trailer that dropped. I think it was yesterday, right? The Witcher.
Right.
The Witcher trailer. And I don't know if this was the final trailer or not because this actually drops in December. Um, and this looked very good as well. Let's break this down a little bit. It was a little all over the place, but it was action packed. You see several shots of Geralt fighting with someone, and there's like someone narrating, talking about the myths and rumors of Geralt, and like you get a good shot of him and his yellow eyes. So like he actually has the yellow eyes. He doesn't have like the stubble and the beard and all that stuff, but like it seems like they're staying true more so to the books rather than the games. I've played very little of the games. Just shout out right there. Like I don't want to be the one like, ruining it for someone who's a true fan, but like it looks cool from my opinion. Then after the fight scenes and the shot of him, you see him walking away from a fight and he just finished. He looks all bloody. He looks really pissed, and the narrator continues talking. And they say that people think he's a monster. So in the books, apparently he's a mutant. Right?
Yeah, I think he's like mixed with stuff. Okay, so full disclosure, I have never played a game or read a book. The only reason why I even started paying attention to The Witcher was literally I found out there was sex in it, and I was a horny kid, and I was just like, oh, for real? Let me just see the scene. Wow, that's kind of dope. And like I wasn't proud of that, but I've grown.
It's okay to be proud of that, man. No. Red-blooded American. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, look how we opened up this entire podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Wolverine 2 dicks, regardless of what happened. I haven't grown that much, I guess.
So yeah, I mean, like, so apparently he's a mutant, and you see people like throwing stones at him and stuff like that. So this has some like X-Men vibes, like original X-Men type vibes to it. People hating on different people. And you see more crazy battle scenes. You see a shot of Roach, his horse, which is like a fan favorite. And you see some random scenes of some menacing looking people causing havoc. I'm guessing they're like the antagonists of the story. And there's more sword fighting, and you see shots of Yennefer and Ciri, which are the two women that are like the main teammates or whatever of Geralt's party, like partners. Exactly. I think one of them is like a witch, and the other one is also a hunter. I'm not sure. Again, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't played much of this. I have no idea.
I'm definitely watching this though.
Definitely watching this. And it ends after more action shots and very intense music. The scenery was awesome, and a lot of people had been comparing this to Game of Thrones, and the producers are kind of pissed about that. They don't want to be compared to Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if someone doesn't know anything about The Witcher and they see this trailer, they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, this looks a little bit like Game of Thrones." I don't know, but what did you think? I thought it was an awesome trailer.
I thought it was a spectacular trailer. I think people will say like anything is related to Game of Thrones if it's like if it was like kind of has the same like medieval type kind of background, because look, it's a fantasy when like set in like the olden times. I guess it's like Game of Thrones. I didn't really get that vibe. I got more of a like one man sword in one hand, magic in the other, doing things but hated by it. Kind of, you know what? Honestly, have you ever seen Claymore?
Yes, I have. Not very long ago, but yes.
It kind of reminds me of Claymore, like how they did with the Claymore women. Like Gerard kind of feels like that. So
okay,
it's I'm gonna definitely watch it.
Same here.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like the whole backdrop of everything, and I think the first trailer that came out, they actually showed him facing off against like a giant spider or something like that, right? Yeah. It actually looked really good. So, hey, look, more Netflix shows. I'm down binge. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah, that was it for the trailers that we had in TV.
And
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's it. So next up, we have an announcement from the CW. Yet another show is being made, and it's the one that everyone wanted. Superman and Lois TV series with Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch. Betty Tulloch is in the works at CW. Holy cow. This is something that we've all wanted. There's been a really heavy feminine push at CW lately, and it's been really good. It's been really good. But the Supergirl show is not as good for some reason. Maybe it's the writing. I don't know what it is. It has nothing to do with Supergirl herself, but it's just... it doesn't draw me in. But as soon as they decided to put Tyler Hoechlin's Superman in it, like, it was just so much better. I can't really explain why, but it was really good. And I'm very happy that they're actually putting out this show. It's very reminiscent of Lois and Clark.
Yes.
And it says here it's being developed as a standalone pilot and will not be introduced as a planted spin-off on one of the existing DC series on the CW, which means we won't see any crossovers just yet. It marks a new stage in DC franchise evolution on the CW as it features one of the most iconic DC characters, Superman. Hoechlin has been portraying Clark Kent Superman on the CW's Arrowverse series since 2016, primarily on Supergirl. Tulloch was cast as Lois Lane last year when she appeared alongside Hoechlin's Man of Steel in the 2018 Arrowverse crossover. I did not see that, unfortunately. She has since appeared as Lois Lane on Supergirl, The Flash, and Batwoman. Both Hoechlin and Tulloch are set to reprise their roles in the upcoming crossover event. So, this project is in development. Hails from the Flash producer Todd Helbig, DC Universe architect Greg Berlanti. Okay, so he's behind it, which is really good. And Warner Brothers TV. Yikes. So yeah, it's happening.
So look, I think the reason why this is getting a little more buzz is also ties into the reason why Supergirl wasn't great for you. And again, this is coming ignorant, but I have a podcast, so I can say whatever I want in regards to like stuff I haven't seen, because I haven't seen these shows, like all of them. So,
right.
But I feel as though this all started with Smallville, and we were watching Smallville, and we were watching this guy become Superman, and we all wanted to see him in the suit do Superman things on a TV show, and that never really came about. He was like, we got the red and blue blur, but
we got teased.
We got teased, but we never really got it. And then we got Arrow, and I didn't think Arrow was going to do as well as it did. That's why I wasn't watching it. And then by the time I looked, it was just a whole juggernaut. And then it spawned off Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, and you got Supergirl, and Supergirl's part of their universe now. And then you got Batwoman. So you got all these stuff, but you never got Batman. You never got Superman. You never got Wonder Woman. Not that I heard. I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, Superman was in. I heard he was in. I knew he was in Supergirl, but like, it was Supergirl's show. Now, nothing against Supergirl. I just think that all the fans kind of want to see the original three in some type of shape or form, and they haven't. And like, there's no like, people are just like, okay, come on, can we get at least them? Because it feels weird that you're doing all this with the DC universe and you haven't picked any of the original three to put in their content. So when I heard,
that's the thing. Yeah.
So when I heard Superman and Lois, I was like, okay, one, this is a great way to start doing that, and two, like you said, this is a kind of a kickback to the New Adventures of Lois and Clark, which I think was one of the better Superman shows that no one ever talks about, because it humanized Superman, because he dealt with he was also like he was a superhero, but he was also a husband and a partner and in journalism, and his wife was way better at him than in regards to journalism. So it was good to see their back and forth. I hope this has some of that in there. I hope this focuses a lot more on Lois that we know from comics, and how she is like hard-nosed and like a hard-nosed, strong reporter that can will be like covering stuff in Iraq in 1 minute and like grilling senators the next minute, and then like reporting on stuff that she's seen in in a Superman fight the next minute, like all that cool stuff.
Yeah, we don't want a weak Lois Lane at all. Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of hope there, and I guess what really disappointed me about Supergirl is a lot of missed opportunities, and that's what I fear with this one too. I was reading an article that talked about how this might be a bummer for the CW universe because there's a missed opportunity in like introducing a different type of Superman, especially with this crisis event coming. Like, why not do something completely different? We've already seen this type of Superman. Why not use Brandon Routh and make a Kingdom Come Superman show? I mean, honestly, the universe is dark enough. He lived in a timeline where like there's like a generation of superheroes that are like, you know, morally questionable, and you know, Superman is sort of like pseudo retired and decides to like suit up again. I mean, I think that would be a very cool show to watch. That's kind of a missed opportunity for me. I'm still glad this is happening. I'm so pumped that this is happening, the Superman Lois show. But I do fear that they're going to like sort of be a little flaky with some of the things like they do with Supergirl. So
I think that this is gonna work out. I think it's gonna work out pretty cool. I honestly, for me personally, I kind of thought Kingdom Come, like maybe like a season arc would be cool if like some of the heroes got thrown into the Kingdom Come universe and they had to deal with this type of thing, and we had Brandon Routh as that Superman doing it. I thought that would be neat. I would watch that out of context because it just would look cool. But you know,
hell yeah.
This is cool.
Okay, we still look forward to this. Look forward to this. Very exciting stuff. Next we have Netflix is unveiling a Ghost in the Shell trailer, and it's not what you think. It's not a live action Ghost in the Shell movie again with, you know, a non-Asian protagonist. You know, people don't have to be up in arms about this. I think this actually looks pretty good. It was just like a 9-second teaser, really.
Of Major Kusanagi.
Yep.
She's jumping out of a Jeep and she has like a Tachikoma in the back, and she's in her like, you know, normal cat suit kind of like leotard thing, and she has some jeans on, and she's just like, you know, I'm here. And you're just like, okay, and it's like Ghost in the Shell 2045, and you're like, oh cool. So it kind of feels like I think it's like a sequel to the Standalone Complex and Standalone Complex Second Gig and like the other Standalone Complex. Like I like those versions. I like that anime that was on Adult Swim when it was coming out, or I guess Toonami. Was it a Toonami?
I think it was Toonami. I think it was a Toonami.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I've always been a fan of Ghost in the Shell. Cyberpunk stuff is very cool. It's very now. So I hope it does well. It's coming on Netflix. Right. So
yeah, you're right. It definitely works for now. This is the right time to release something like this. It's been a while since the last movie, so yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, that was this week's news in movie, TV, and anime. So we're gonna move on right now to a little segment we like to call No Shit Sherlock. That's right, No Shit Sherlock. This is basically where we talk about some news that should have happened or shouldn't have happened. So let's get to it. First one here.
Oh. No. Wow.
I know. We're jumping in together. Let's go. You take it away, Sam. Go ahead.
No. You have it, my friend.
Okay. All right. So Sony is deciding to shut down PlayStation Vue live TV service on January 30th. It's only been around for 4 years, and this is kind of disappointing to me personally because I had PlayStation Vue. I did enjoy it. It was rather good for sports, at least. A little bit of a bummer, but given Sony's state of the company, no shit. That's all I gotta say about that.
I come at it a different way. So, did you see the news for HBO Max?
No, I did not. That was recent, right?
Yeah, it's a juggernaut of content, like a lot. Like it's there. When I say the streaming wars are here, the streaming wars are here, and we're looking at right now is our first casualty of war, PlayStation Vue. I had it for a little bit. I gotta tell you, if you're not using it on a PlayStation, the interface sucks.
You're right. Yeah.
It is the most, like, I use, like, my personal streaming of choice, because I don't have cable. I use Sling TV for my live television, I used PlayStation View for like 2 months, and I gotta tell you, navigating the thing was hard as hell. It was
Right.
way more difficult than it needed to be. It had more channels for a less price, but it was way more difficult than it needed to be. To the point where I was just like, screw it, I'll go back to Sling, because at least I can manage this drunk. If like I messed up, I would actually get kicked out of View, and I would have to go back from the beginning, and nobody wants that.
Yeah, I mean, and but right now I'm using YouTube TV, and that's actually really good. And the TV guide is actually the way it should be, like up and down instead of sideways. I hated that with PlayStation View. But yeah, I mean, and with HBO Max coming, I mean, you got that, and then Disney Plus going head to head. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and not to mention Apple TV. They're dropping they dropped.
That's another one.
A whole new shows. I see posters in the train for C, that show with Jason Momoa, where everyone's blind.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's the first casualty of war right there. PlayStation View, no longer in service January 30th. So choose wisely, people. Come January 30th.
Pick your streaming services carefully.
Exactly. Next up, we have Disney and Sony execs are addressing Spider-Man's return to the MCU, saying, "We heard the feedback out there."
So this article was basically just stating that Disney and Sony execs, like, they sat him down during an interview and said that it was really all about money in regards to the decision, but Spider-Man staying in the MCU was never in serious jeopardy. Like, they were gonna figure it out. They would have got there. Now, when it first dropped, not this information, but when Spider-Man might not be dropped to Sony, was going to be in Sony and wasn't going to be in the MCU movies anymore, I gotta admit, I was initially like, what the hell? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is bad. But like, if you remember that petting zoo, we kind of figured eventually they were going to get it back, because everybody was up in arms about this. Like, everyone was just like, no, this was our favorite Spider-Man, and he was in Marvel movies, and we want him in Marvel movies, so you put him back in Marvel movies. So them saying that this was like always going to be settled out via money, and like it was just a waiting game, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and they go on to say, or Marvel goes on to say, the fan base, which is important to all of us, seemed to really respond to what Tom and his folks have done before with our people. They like the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Kevin Feige were involved in the 2 Spider-Man films. We heard feedback out there that suggested that joining forces, once again, was probably a really good idea. No duh, guys. I mean, yeah, we saw this coming, like you said, in the petting zoo, and this was just going to happen eventually. I think the media just got ahead of it, really. So yeah, more Spider-Man. Good stuff. So next, some really, really big news. Okay, these are rumors, not 100% confirmed, but Charlie Cox is apparently set to return as Daredevil in the MCU movies. And we heard rumblings that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they want to take some of the TV characters and they want to put them in the movies, a la Ghost Rider, a la Daredevil, Punisher, etc. So Kevin Feige really wants Charlie Cox in the MCU, and he's fully expected to make the return at some point. Possibly even in Spider-Man 3 as Peter's lawyer. That works way too well. That works way too well.
That was both an episode of, I guess, like a 3-4 part episode on the animated series Spider-Man on Fox, and the also in the comics. And it would be a great way for him to get in there. Perfect way for him to get in there.
Yeah, totally agree. And, you know, again, we know the history of Spider-Man, and we know the first introduction of the Punisher. That works really well, too, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be rated R, but that's a really good way to introduce John Bernthal's Punisher. They want him back as well, so that could happen. And we're waiting for updates on Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. I think it's already been confirmed that Iron Fist is not going to make a return until they can completely redo this, especially with Shang-Chi coming out. They want to sort of revitalize that part of the Marvel universe. So I think we're going to be waiting a while on that.
No one's gonna complain about that. Nobody. But like, it was kind of a duh. As much as the Defenders didn't do as well as everyone hoped they would, everyone actually everyone likes the Charlie Cox's version of Daredevil and John Berthal's version of the Punisher. Like, they're solid characters. Both, like, I wouldn't say the same thing about Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones, maybe. Luke Cage, but those two are definitely solid interpretations of the characters, and it's kind of obvious that you would want to bring them back as soon as the legal issues with Netflix are over. Because that's the reason why they're not there right away. They have in their contract, they have to wait a couple years because of Netflix, before they can bring them into the MCU. So
yeah, all depends on how they can fit them, where they can fit them, what other characters they're introducing, team ups and all that stuff. So
yeah, but Kevin Feige is the CCO, so he can make that shit go.
He can make it happen. Make it happen,
Kevin.
All right, I think that's it. That is it for No Shit Sherlock. Next up, we have a game that we have no idea what the hell it's all about. Okay. We just know it's a game.
I know. Okay, so I understand that this game is made by the same person who has made all the Ghost in the Shell games.
Metal Gear Solid.
Ghost in the Shell. Wow, Metal Gear Solid. All the Metal Gear Solid, because I recognize that name. I've played Metal Gear Solid like 3, 4, 1, 2. 2 was rated, yeah. I've played a good chunk of them, and I also played that Rating Rising game. That was kind of fun.
That was a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yes. They don't have problems making beautiful things. But literally, all I can say about this game is that it's a very beautifully done game. It's nice to see Mads Mikkelsen getting more work, because that dude is cool. If you haven't seen Hannibal, it was 3 seasons of perfection. Go check it out. Great series. Total food porn. Like, if you love food and you want to see it done beautifully, and you want to see people murdered gruesomely. But anyway, Death Stranding. So what I'm gathering is just like some type of babies in like tubes, and this guy's delivering them to everybody in the USA.
I don't know if he's trying to give us clues to what this game is about or what.
He's failing at it. So
the protagonist, his name is Sam. By the way, his name is Sam.
Oh, okay.
Played by Norman Reedus. Okay. And then it seems like something has happened in the world, like some crazy, devastating, apocalyptic thing, which completely messed up the world, in America specifically. And it seems like Sam's job is to like just go and meet people and make deliveries and reconnect with everyone and rebuild America again and all that stuff. By giving them
like babies?
I don't know. Well, he's holding a baby, but he's also holding like a backpack with like all sorts of random stuff where he's like traveling all over the place.
But also he's also carrying like he's not just carrying one like test tube baby, because it's like all right, so people are probably listening and confused as all hell who don't see this trailer. So like this character is carrying, it's almost like a portable test tube baby. Like it's about the same size as like a Nike shoebox. And it's got a baby in it, like an actual baby that's like going, like gurgling and like doing little baby action stuff. And like he seems to be delivering these babies. So it's like, is he delivering babies so that people can have new people? Like you can't have babies?
I don't think so. Like I think because Guillermo del Toro's in the game as well.
Yes, like that was like random as hell.
He's besties with Hideo Kojima, the creator of the game. So
I didn't know that. For real,
he gets to be in. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, but like at some point he sort of explains that the baby is some sort of connection to this world, and there's 2 worlds, one with the dead and one with the living, and we don't know if this world is actually the world of the dead, and this could be purgatory, and like, Sam, I don't know what's going on, my head's gonna explode.
I thought that was like exposition or some shit. Like I thought he was being metaphorical about like
the whole thing is exposition. The whole thing is metaphorical. Because there was a giant woman walking around at the end of the trailer. Did you see that? Stomping around? There was a gigantic woman stomping around at the end of the trailer.
I did see that part in the ocean where he was fighting pretty much Darkwater from Pirates of the Darkwater.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know. And like, Mads Mikkelsen is a bad guy, but like, when is Mads Mikkelsen a good guy?
Yeah, that's I don't know.
He's
I don't know, man.
Never a good guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did a poor job explaining this trailer to you. We apologize.
We did a poor job explaining this trailer to you. They did that a poor job explaining this trailer to me. That's the most confusing ass trailer. All right. Anyway,
I'm still gonna buy it.
Death Stranding is gonna sell thousands of copies, and Hijima's never gonna tell us what the fuck his game is about until you start playing it. So go check it out. Go check out the trailer. See what you see if you can do a better job of explaining this game to us. If you can, we will have you on the podcast, and you can do it for everyone on here.
Exactly, and it looks like Death Stranding releases November 8th, which is next week.
Cool.
So, enjoy, guys. If you guys get it first, tell us about it. Go on the Facebook page. Tell us what the hell's going on, please. We want to know. We want to know. And that's it for games. That's all we got. That took most of our time. This Death Stranding trailer.
Trying to figure out Death Stranding.
Trying to figure it out. We move on to our next segment. You guys are so screwed now! Is it worthy?
Is it worthy?
Sam, why don't you take this one?
Okay, so in Is It Worthy, we basically go through the list of geeky news that came that we didn't think was ready for main coverage, but, it's still something that we think might be worthy of talking about. Or it might not be worthy. We don't know. First things first, Star Wars setback. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Should this have been a no shit Sherlock?
No, this hadn't, because I thought they were going to get away with all the crap they've done. But, let's see it is. So, anyway, Game of Thrones duo, DB and DB, if you know them, who, totally let us down in the last season of Game of Thrones so they can go make Star Wars, have apparently exited Star Wars. They're not going to do it anymore. They basically said it was because they don't have the time with the Netflix deal that they have. But, I can't help but think that some of the negative backlash they've had from all the Game of Thrones drama has somehow affected this. But, who knows? But we're not going to get their Star Wars, and it was going to be a completely new trilogy. And you know what? I hope they use this to just focus more on television shows for a little bit and let the whole movie trilogy thing just simmer. Maybe do a little more one-on-ones, like single movies, but, just let it simmer. Just let it chill out for a little bit.
They need to prove themselves. Stop riding off of franchises that already exist. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh, spicy. Not untrue, but spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's worthy?
Is it worthy that they exited the trilogy? Hell yeah, I'm super happy about it.
My man. All right. Next thing. This is for our cross fans from Mike and Mike. The Complete Works. The Mike and Mike by Mike and Mike, because this is a Nick Cage movie, and we know they love Nick Cage movies, or at least they fake it because they watched all of them. Never gonna forget that fact, because that's a lot of movies. But he's got another one because he never stops working. So, what is it called? Wally's World, or what's the name of the movie? I'm sorry.
So this movie is. Sorry, as we check again, because there's so many Nick Cage movies. It's
Wally's
hard to,
Wonderland.
There it is.
Wally's Wonderland. How did I not forget that? How did I forget that? All right, so basically, Cage will play a janitor forced to spend the night in a music park, and getting a little more than he bargained for, he discovers the park's more sinister nature with the confines of a lurking evil. Now resigned to a grisly fate, the janitor tries to fight his way out through demonic forces, and animated characters come to life. You have to plow through monsters and find sanctuary to survive into the morning. This kind of sounds like Five Nights at Freddy's, but more violent. I'm for it.
Look, if it's more violent than Mandy, which is almost impossible, I thought that was his swan song. I thought he was going to end on that shit. That movie was nuts.
Mandy is him going full Cage and coming back the other side.
That is a perfect explanation for what happened in that movie.
Whew. That was heavy metal, the movie.
Pretty much. I mean,
for this generation.
With this, is it worthy? Yes. Because you know what? I'm going to see this damn movie. I don't know why. I'm going to see it.
I have mad respect for Nick Cage all of a sudden. Like, I really, he's doing a damn thing. All right, next things up. PS4 is now the second best-selling console ever. PlayStation could do something right, which is sell the shit out of consoles. As confirmed in July 2019, as confirmed in July 2019, the PS4 has reached the 100 million units shipped milestone, and combined with the number from Q1 in 2019, brings the total up to 102.8 million units, edging the PS4 past the performance of the original PlayStation. However, the thing that beat it for the first number one selling console of all time, PS2.
Yeah, I'm a huge PlayStation fan. I'm still gonna call this not worthy, only because see, 47.2 million units is a lot to cover. So like, honestly, it's just not as successful. That's all it is, really. That's just what it is. They definitely did great this generation, but PS2 is still one of the best selling consoles ever, period.
You know what it is? It's because it came out when it did, and it came out strong. Like people, because it ate Dreamcast's lunch. Came out strong.
Yep. So yeah, I mean personally, I'm calling it not worthy. What say you?
Meh. Yeah, I'm an Xbox guy, so yeah.
There you go.
Digimon Adventure Last Evolution. There's some new footage from the Digimon Adventure Last Evolution movies coming out. I was a big Digimon fan back when I was a kid. I actually like Digimon more than Pokemon. I had one of those Digimon little D devices.
So, yep.
Yeah, like the little Gigapets. I used to keep them, and I used to think about Digimon and hope that I could get put in the digital world so I could have a Digimon and be friends with Agumon and all the other guys. So, this is supposed to be the last story for the English listeners, Tai and Agumon. If you remember, that's from the very first season of Digimon, because there's been like a buttload. I stopped paying attention after like the fourth season. Actually, I saw a little bit of the fifth season, but that was just god awful. But yeah, I stopped paying attention after the fourth season because they changed the characters. But the first two seasons they had the main cast, and then the second season had the main cast as kind of like supporting characters for this new class. But yeah, this will be the last. So it has a lot of the first two season characters in this movie, and it looks kind of nice. And it likes to see them all grown up. That's pretty much it. Maybe it'll be in America, maybe not. Who knows? But I don't know if it's worthy enough to be considered news.
Meh. I mean, when it comes out, it comes out. A lot of these new anime movies are coming out in America and actually being put out in theaters, which is awesome. I don't know if this is going to get to the level of that, so I'm going to chalk this up to an I don't know right now.
Yeah. Actually, surprising enough, even though I was such a big Digimon fan, I much rather watch the new Lupin the Third movie. Have you seen the trailer?
Oh, that looks, yes.
So
that
sick.
Looks crazy.
So sick. Can't wait.
That's definitely worthy.
That's worthy. Check out the Lupin the Third trailer. That looks amazing. Next is Ed, I'll let you take this one.
So Arrow star David Ramsey believes the final season will address a long-standing Green Lantern theory. I mean, I personally have a lot of catching up to do on the Arrow show and amongst other shows on the CW, but in the past seasons there have been a couple of hints and nods towards the John Diggle character actually being John Stewart. For instance, they talk about a relative of his, or like his stepfather having the last name Stewart. There's a point in last year's crossover event where the Flash from one of the other Earths, he meets up with John Diggle and he says, it's weird seeing you without your ring. Like things like that to try to hint that John Diggle is actually John Stewart, or a version of him in another Earth is the Green Lantern.
For those who don't know, John Stewart is Green Lantern.
Correct.
He is one of the American. He's one of the Earth Green Lanterns. He's one of the more famous ones.
Correct. And so this new crossover event that's happening in this 2019 is supposed to address some of these rumors. I think this is worthy. I actually can't wait to see something like that. It'll be weird to see a good Green Lantern reference at least. as opposed to what we've seen already in the movies, which has been utter crap. So, you know, DC TV doing their thing.
DC TV doing their thing.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm calling worthy. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what it looks like.
Next one is a bummer for me because
it's a bummer for me too, man.
So basically, live action Cowboy Bebop production has been put on hold for 7 to 9 months. Why, you may ask? Because during filming in New Zealand, during one of the scenes for the earlier episodes, John Cho busted his knee and had to get corrective surgery, and he's recuperating back in California. So we have to wait until he's healed up so he can be Spike again, so he can record it. For those of you who don't know, Cowboy Bebop is an awesome-ass anime. If you ever get a chance, check it out. It is literally one of the best dubbed animes I've ever seen in my life. It's like, if you ever want to say dub is awesome, you know, there are such things as good dub. Show them Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop was freaking phenomenal. But it's been greenlit to be made into a television show on Netflix. John Cho is going to be starring the studio character Spike Spiegel. And I was super excited for this. I still am. I just got to be excited 9 months later. That's all.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I think the real bummer is that they finally were making something where they casted correctly.
Yes.
And everyone was hyped for it. You know, there's a lot of these movies that they try to make live action adaptations of that, you know, people are rightfully upset about. People aren't so rightfully upset about, but this one in particular, they casted correctly, and we were souped about it. You know, the next one was supposed to be Akira, you know, down the road. We'll see what happens with that. But now we got to wait 9 months. We got to wait 9 months for them to continue production.
Exactly.
That's really bad.
We haven't even seen a trailer yet because they haven't gotten enough footage.
That's a bummer. So much can change in 9 months. And we don't want anything to change right now. So yeah. But no, not worthy right now. I'm not feeling very worthy about this. So check this out, man. Jensen Ackles went trick-or-treating. He busted out his costume here.
I don't think Jensen Ackles went trick-or-treating as per se. I just think he just decided to put on something fly for Halloween.
Yeah, seriously. So it looks like Jensen Ackles put together a Batman costume, and I gotta say, aside from the neck, he looks really legit. So the cowl itself looks a little bit more on the Michael Keaton side, right? Mm-hmm. Then it looks like a lot of woven fabric for the rest of the costume. No rubber or anything like that. Got the black on gray symbol and a dirty yellow belt, utility belt. Looks like the boots and the gloves from the Batman Arkham games. That's what it looks like.
You are really analyzing this.
Hey, look, this is for the people who are listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty good for a homemade Halloween costume. Not gonna lie to you.
He has money though, so like you should be able to make something that like if it came out looking like really bad, like Circuit City, I have words.
So it's worthy because Jensen Ackles has money.
Yes, there you go. It's worthy because Jensen Ackles has money. He better. Season 13 of fucking Supernatural.
Oh man. All right, so that's it, guys. Is it worthy? Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up here with our closing discussion.
It's made from guano.
Guano. That sounds so familiar.
And our topic today for the closing discussion is something that's pseudo-serious. There was some news that broke with Sonic the Hedgehog. Some of the redesign got leaked, and we talked about it in our last podcast. And we both loved it, right, Sam?
Oh yeah,
we said it looked incredible.
Yeah.
We were up in arms when the first leak came out, and we saw what Sonic looked like. It looked terrible.
It looked like a sled against God. Yes.
Right. We were up in arms. Everyone in the world was up in arms about it. There were petitions. There were, boycotts. You name it. It was happening. And we had some news this week from Jim Carrey, who was a little weird.
A little?
He's weird now. He's very weird.
Now?
He's very weird. But he says something that's pretty provoking and something that we should probably discuss. So, in response to the redesign, he says he didn't like it. He says, "I believe in authors, and I believe in creatives. We do what we do. We do what we can do, and then technology is going to have its way, and people's opinions are going to have their way. And who knows what it's going to turn into? You just become their Frankenstein monster at some point, right?" So he makes a really good point here. Like nowadays, a lot of people in the industry make changes based off of fan feedback. You know, they show a little snippet of something well before it comes out. People get up in arms and they make their changes, or they decide not to make the changes and it doesn't work out. I kind of understand where he's coming from, because we're fans. We're not in the director's chair. We're not the writers. We're not the producers. I mean, all we can do is sit back and enjoy the content that they provide for us. But at the same time, this particular design was bad and it needed to change.
Yes.
So I don't know. What do you think, Sam, about his comments and where we go from here and how we react to some of these things?
Me personally, I think listen to the fans. Because, all right, we're not in the director chair, yes, but we are giving you our hard-earned money that we worked our jobs for to watch something, to enjoy it. Now, this isn't like you're writing a new book or like writing a new epic tale.
It's based off of something original.
Yeah, it's based off of something original. If this was something original and we were doing this, then I'd be like, hey, let's actually see what comes from it, and then we make a decision after the fact. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. One of the very first console I got was a Sega Genesis. The very first game I got was Sonic Adventure 2. I played that game endlessly. I know what Sonic looks like, okay? I know what Sonic looked like. That was terrifying. He had teeth, he was gangly, he was scary looking. I wouldn't take kids to see that. I would be afraid to get scared of him. Why would I want to scare my kids to seeing Sonic when I have so much love and respect and like good memories associated to Sonic? So yeah, it needed to get changed. This kind of ties into some other topics that we talked about earlier about what happened with Spider-Man and like how the fans are was a pushing force in regards to Spider-Man going back to the MCU to be filmed with those other movies, and the same thing with DB and DB in regards to like, well, we don't know that. They say it's that, so we're just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, like I feel as though people who listen to their creators who listen to their fans and work with their fans into making something that everyone will enjoy see the best results, whereas people who go against their fans tend to see not so good results. So if you look, people didn't really like how Ghost in the Shell was going to show up. A lot of people had some problems with it. Some people said that Ghost in the Shell was going to look okay based off because Scarlett Johansson and stuff. But a lot of people had problems with Ghost in the Shell off rip because of that, and it didn't do so well.
Right.
I feel as though in Marvel, when it comes to Marvel movies, a lot of it is just looking into what the fans want and giving the fans fan service, and it pays dividends in the blockbuster, in the wallets, because we see a lot of monies, billions of dollars from some movies. They're making billions. So maybe if anything, it's showing us that we should be listening to the fans. That fans should be helping people, not like going in there and cutting the film and stuff, but I think you should take more stock into what the fans are saying, because if you listen to them, I get the general gist, then you can save a lot of time, because Sonic was supposed to come out like in a couple months.
It was.
It's not going to do that, and now it's coming out during the same time as they were mentioning the two movies. I forget what two movies are coming out. It's not going to do well. It's like there's two big movies that are coming out around the same time, so it's going to get eaten in regards to sales. But they didn't have to. It didn't have to go this way. If they did it, if they had like tested it before and showed it to people and they were like, no, we don't want that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it goes a lot deeper than that too. Like, the industry is well known for hiring like the it person as a director, because they put out some independent film that was like super good, and like they want to hire this person for their crazy franchise project or whatever. Instead of hiring the fan, like, why not hire fans of the material? And that way, maybe you can avoid this entire mess from the get-go. I just posted a picture, Sam. I don't know if you saw it, but like, this brings me back to something. I don't know if you remember seeing this, the original Mario Brothers movie.
I saw that movie.
Do you remember what the Goombas looked like? They were completely reversed from what they were supposed to be. I mean, this is what happens when you take creativity to a different place, because I want to be different. You know, I don't want to stick to the source. I'm going to take a little bit from the source, but I want to be different. I want to put my own stamp on it, type thing. And I understand that, but like, some of these things are near and dear to the fans. You know, Sonic, especially. Sonic, we all know what he looks like. We all know what he looks like. And to break that out was disrespectful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I like I said, while I understand, I completely, overall, in a general scope of things, I understand Jim Carrey's point. The general scope of things, he makes some sense, because, you know, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, what it takes to make a movie. It takes a lot of hard work and stuff like that. But this movie, it didn't have to be that way. It didn't.
It didn't.
So,
It didn't.
Fan sway, good or bad, we're both leaning towards good.
I think it's good. Oh, small note: the two movies that it's coming out against now is Birds of Prey and The King's Man.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Another franchise ruined. Why?
Hey.
That's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we started with two dicks. We ended with a depressing moment in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, you know, let's the jury's still out. For all we know, this might be the best movie of the summer. Well, not the summer. The best movie of the year.
Of the spring.
Of the year. This could, like, we could be getting like some serious quality stuff. Just Jim Carrey acting of Robotnik could be top notch.
You know what? It could be. I'll give him that.
This could be his Joker.
Looks exactly. Yes, that is a good point. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see when this comes out, and then we'll have our verdict when that day comes.
Yep.
And that concludes our closing discussion. How you feeling, Sam?
I think my sock is stuck on like a nail, my pinky nail, and it's like pulling at it.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good news. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for our podcast. Thank you all for listening so much. If you like listening, please subscribe. Please go on our Facebook page, leave a mention, leave a message, what have you. We're all over social media. Go ahead and talk to us. And give a listen to our other podcasts under the Rapture Press banner. We have the Review Zoo with the guy that's across from me, Sam Harper, and Andrew McDonald. We have Mike and Mike Go to Movies. And we have the Complete Works, which we always talk about and give a shout out to in every single one of our podcasts, because that's something that's very hard to do, where Mike and Mike, they go through every single one of Nicolas Cage's movies and review them. That's incredible still. So thank you guys for listening, and say bye, Sam.
Bye, Sam.
Peace.